In the next few minutes, we're going to distill a set of core principles that can fundamentally change how you lead. These aren't just theories. Think of them as strategic tools. Let's get started.
Just think about that for a second. What if the one thing holding you back, the one thing preventing you from reaching that next level of impact, is an invisible script you've been following your whole life? A script that says, wait.
So our first insight tackles this passive mindset head-on. When we're kids, we're taught to wait our turn. We wait for parents, teachers, coaches to tell us we're ready. But in leadership, and frankly in life, the rules are completely different.
And this quote, it just nails that fundamental shift in responsibility, doesn't it? The world isn't just going to tap you on the shoulder. Leadership doesn't just grant you a turn. It responds to the people who create their own through sheer will and decisive action.
This is really the mindset in action. You have to stop waiting for an invitation. Giving yourself permission isn't just some motivational cliche. It's a strategic imperative. It's the first real move for any leader who is serious about driving change.
Okay, let's move on to our second insight, which builds directly on the first. Because if principle 1 is about creating your own opportunities, this one is all about what you do when those opportunities look like huge, terrifying challenges.
This really just cuts right to the heart of it. There is a direct, undeniable link between the value you create and the complexity you're willing to take on. See, most people instinctively run away from difficult problems, but the best leaders, they understand that the biggest problems are just hiding the biggest opportunities.
So you have to ask yourself, which mindset is driving your approach? The avoidance mindset sees fire and runs away, every time. But the opportunity mindset, it uses that same fire, that same feeling of fear, as a compass, pointing directly toward where the most value is waiting to be created.
And that, right there, is the true measure of your worth as a leader. Your impact isn't defined by the issues you manage to sidestep. It's defined by the sheer scale of the problems you're willing to own and solve. That's what defines your legacy.
So, we've seized our turn, we've run toward the fire, but honestly, none of that means a thing without this third and final insight, the absolute discipline of execution. It is so easy to start things. It is essential to finish them.
Now this gap, this represents a massive failure in most organizations. We are addicted to the thrill of starting something new, but all the real progress, all the real value is in the unglamorous, difficult work of finishing. An organization full of starters, well, it just ends up going nowhere fast.
And this is exactly why. Spreading your focus too thin is a guarantee for mediocrity. Look, multitasking is a myth. All it does is fragment your energy and ensure that while you might feel incredibly busy, you're making very little real progress on what actually matters.
This needs to become your new mantra. Use it as a filter for every single commitment you make. Before you go chasing the excitement of the next big thing, have the integrity to ask yourself, what have I truly finished? That's how you shift from just being in motion to actually making progress.
All right, let's tie these three powerful ideas together, because seizing your turn, running toward fire, and finishing the race, they aren't just separate tactics. They're all essential components of a single, unified philosophy of leadership.
We call this the agency principle. And what it is really is a commitment to being the cause, not just the effect. It's the fundamental difference between waiting for the future to happen to you and actively building it yourself. This, right here, is the hallmark of every great leader.
So what do you do with all of this? Because knowledge without application, well, that's just entertainment, isn't it? Let's make this actionable, starting right now.
So here's your challenge. First, I want you to apply just one of these principles to a real problem you're facing this week. Second, share these ideas with your team. Make it part of your shared language. And third, measure the impact. Actually notice how your decisions and the outcomes they produce begin to change.
The best leaders don't just learn, they act. The time for waiting around is over. Your turn is now.